And what is going on, YouTube? How we doing? All right. Let me know if audio and everything's working out okay. We're going to leave the door open. I'm alone by myself now, today. And my cats may want to come in and hang out. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, figured we'll just chat for about a half hour and then we'll get started on the warm-up pacing. Actually got to pull up that resource. Yeah. Put that over there for now. But yeah, so what we'll be doing, it's follow along. So if you want to hang out with your horn and warm up with us, I only have it. It was made for a masterclass with just euphoniums who mostly read bass clef. So I only have it in bass clef and I only have it in the euphonium octave. If you're tuba, you're more than welcome to take it down the octave. And this will work. There's nothing super hard slide-wise for trombone. So if you do want to play it on trombone, you're more than welcome to join us. It's on my website. The handout is on my website. So if you want that, head on over there, snag it. I'm not doing there's no, like, you got to sign up for you don't have to sign up for like, what do they call it? Like a mail list or anything like that. You can just grab it. It's free. It's just a link to it. But we'll let kind of people start teetering in, and then we'll get started here in about 20 minutes. So if you haven't played yet today, now's your chance to get it going. We'll play together. It'll take about an hour. I'm expecting the warm-up to take it about an hour or so. But otherwise, how's everybody else doing today? I feel like I'm back from the dead. I went to 2 conferences, like 1 festival, 1 band camp, and then instantly got sick. Like the day I got back from there. And there was supposed to be all this content last week, and it just didn't happen. So I had to shift some things. So the new video tomorrow is actually the vlog that was supposed to come out this week, but there was supposed to be a video that came out before it last week, but that's going to get pushed off to another, not next week, but the following now. So we're already in disarray and the summer's just started. This is piping hot. I cannot drink this just yet. But it's an awesome mug. My Japan mug. I went all the way to Amazon.jp to grab it. That was the problem when I visited Japan. I wanted to buy so many things, but there were so many things I was like, I have an Amazon Japan account, so if I don't want to like take it on a plane with me, you know. So I just shipped it over. It is what it is. Let's make sure all the buttons are working on the horn. Seems okay. The second valve slide came out earlier today when I was in a lesson, so I had to quick patch that. I don't know if y'all ever use like slide grease and it's like so tacky and sticky that it just sticks with you. That was my problem earlier today. Had to deal with that. Okay, good. Everything's working. Just making sure. I will be putting up the all-state resources tomorrow. For those of you who just need the handouts, I will be putting that up there. If you haven't seen those videos yet, they're out. They're up. We're also testing out a new, instead of me having to use a foot pedal, so it's a little bit cleaner right here. So we'll see how that's going to work out for the stream and everything. Oh, I totally wanted to go on to, we're going to go live on Instagram right now and try to see if we can't get some more people over here. Instagram does such a good job of alerting people everything. How important to me is the tuning slide trigger on euphonium? Would you ever play without one? No. Now, I've played with one for so long that I can't imagine a world without one. Let's flip this. Where am I gonna put this camera? Hold on, I got your answer. Also, hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. I hear it's been very hot in Texas. Yeah, so they're wildly important. I think it's the way it needs to be. I also pull slides on tuba. I pull slides on tuba when I play tuba. Obviously I adjust things when I'm playing trombone, and so it would affect me on my euphonium if I were to do that too. Like I don't want to necessarily just adjust with my face because I feel like I'm gonna get tired way faster. Yo, a bunch of people are joining up on Instagram. Hey, just going live, letting people know that we are live on YouTube. We're going to be doing a community warm-up. So if you haven't already, go over to YouTube, join the chat. We're just chatting for the first half hour or so we'll be going on. But yeah, so would I play a horn without one? Not if I could help it. If they were ever to make the Aaron Campbell artist euphonium, it would have a tuning trigger for sure. Yeah, I just don't want to move my face. I don't want to do that. And I haven't trained. The first compensating euphonium I bought was a Prestige that had the trigger. So I didn't want to, I would never want to change that. You know what I mean? What's going on, everybody joining in on Instagram? Hey, we're just saying hi, chatting a little bit over on YouTube. So if you haven't already, link is in my bio on YouTube. But yeah, come say hi. It is my, oh wait, I can look at this way bigger if I just look over here. It is my only regret about my Wilson is that it does not have a trigger. And it's so funny too, because the trigger was so controversial when it came out. The trigger was this you're being lazy. It was like this whole thing, right? And then now every single brand has one. Wilson even said, Wilson and Yamaha both were like, we'll never put out a horn without them. And now they both have models where you can get those on there. Yeah. Do you have the 2900 with a medium bore? I don't know if I'd ever play a medium bore either. Get an aftermarket trigger system. You could do that. I always wonder about how much it's going to cost to get that in there, to put that into the thing. Hey, what's going on, everybody over on Instagram? Come say hi on YouTube. Just kind of hanging out, chatting a little bit before we get started with the community warm up. We're going to be doing a little bit of a warm-up altogether. What do we got here? My jaw is so numb from getting your wisdom teeth out. No playing for me. Oh, no. This sounds like, so you're alive, so at least the procedure went okay. With medium shank? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know what it was about the medium shank and the Euro shank that was such a big deal in the 90s. But we also live in a world where tuba, euphonium, trombone, everybody's bigger. Everybody wants bigger. So it's so funny. Instantly 20 people joined up on Instagram. Hey guys, we are live on YouTube and we're chatting on YouTube. Just kind of saying hey to everybody here on Instagram first, before we do a interactive warm-up. I don't think the install would be too much. Getting the MTS to move well enough is the only issue I think you'd might run into. Oh, yeah, the tuning slide. But, I'm sure you could just, because I don't feel like the one on my horn is necessarily different. I don't think they build it differently, because it will, if you don't have that trigger system on there, it doesn't fall out or anything. So I think it has to maintain, it has to be well oiled. I would hesitate to say it's not something that some steel wool couldn't handle, make it look all nice and pretty. All right, Instagram, I'm going to say bye on Instagram. We're live on YouTube if you want to come and join the conversation. We're hanging out. We're going to be chatting for about 15 more minutes, and then we're going to start a warm-up masterclass that's also follow along. So if you don't have the handout, also go over to my website and check that out, Instagram. But we'll see you over at YouTube. Whee! No, I don't want to. I just want to share it on my story. We can just discard it. That's fine. Instagram used to be able to, you would be able to keep lives alive on your story. All right. Yeah, I remember when I was in community college. So we would do these concert series. Also, how's the volume on the audio? My mixers and everything look good. Oh yeah, it might not have. If you guys are on, ooh, I'm actually peaking a little bit. We need to turn you down. We need to turn me down a little. I'm peaking. If you guys are on the Discord, you guys can share it in there. Link up in that. Boo hiss. Yeah, so when I was in community college, we used to do series, concert series. So we would do like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night series. And that's how they actually did our scholarships, was completely through that, which was awesome. It was really cool. And I remember one Wednesday night, all of our trumpets got together and they were like, yeah, we're all gonna, like, they did a polish party, right? And I'll never forget, I think it was something so silly as like Brass Machine or something like that, right? And you know, that was like the first tune on the jazz concert. And so all the trumpets are going, they're playing, they're doing their thing. And then they get to their first break and all of them just turn them down and you just hear tink tink punk tink tink punk tink tink tink. Right? And it was all of the trumpet slides just went out all at one time. They all used steel wool to like super clean all of their slides so they would make them like shiny again and all that sort of a thing. Not realizing that what the steel wool was doing was stripping metal away from the slides. And I guess the slides worked okay enough for like 12 hours prior to that event. I am getting over a cold, so you're going to see me coughing a little bit. I don't know what I caught at that Salvation Army camp, but it killed me. Whatever it was. Ooh. I did not do a good job with this. I did an AeroPress and I varied how I did this. It's like, okay, it's too clean. I like the bitter. Do y'all get real bougie? Any of y'all get real bougie about how you do your coffee? We normally use a Chemex, but every once in a while, if I'm just doing one, I'll do a AeroPress. I don't know if you ever do that. Trojans, guys, children, people, humans, hito. Oh, is this actually called the right thing on YouTube? I remember last time it called this video the entirely wrong thing. All right, cool. It is right. Okay, good. Yeah, so the warm up and the presentation, I like my coffee with cream or espresso with French stuff. Ooh, you like flavor. I can't do flavor in my coffee. Like it black for survival. And working at the university that I work at too. Because all those girls get like all the university girls at the bookstore, Starbucks or whatever, they'll all get like these really like fun drinks. They'll get stuff that you can't make at home, vanilla bean frappes and all that sort of thing. And of course the people back there are not like trained baristas. They're just like, they're doing their best and they're doing a great job, but they're like university staff who are just like there and know how to make coffee. And so when I get up there and I'm like, can I just get a black coffee? And they're like, yes, you absolutely, like no sugar, nothing. I was like, nope, I just want a black coffee. They get so stoked that they're like, I don't have to blend this thing. Well, so the question is, why are lacquer euphoniums making such a comeback? I don't know if they're making a comeback so much as the gold lacquer is making a comeback. So I like the gold lacquer a lot more than like the brass lacquer. Brass lacquer is still pretty light in comparison, and the silver and the gold feel very, very similar. what I like about the gold versus the silver is I'm not losing any. It does sound a little bit different, but they're more similar than silver to brass lacquer. But with the gold lacquer, what I like most about it, honestly, is I don't have to polish it. That's my favorite part about the entire thing. I think, and honestly, I mean, Stephen Mead made a push with this new instrument. I think a lot of people, grabbed onto that. And you want to play whatever Steven's playing on. But also, I mean, Adams has been pushing some sort of stuff. I don't know. I think we were just homogenous for so long. And our community was so like, you have to play a Wilson 2900 that is silver lacquer, and that's the only instrument you can play if you ever want to be anything in your world. And I think now people are just kind of, so it's you don't have to polish silver either. You don't have to polish silver, but my tuba is currently purple. Yeah, no, it's gold lacquer as opposed to like brass lacquer. So if I put it up to like, I don't know if I can do this. If I put it up to my trombone, you can actually really see a difference. Hold on. Let me turn this light on. It'll help. Right. So this is just a normal brass lacquer, my trombone. And then when I hold this up next to it, you can see how much darker it is in comparison. But it's not plated or anything. I don't think. It's just a different type of lacquer. But for me, the brass lacquer is still too bright. If I was going to do that, I would want to go into like the raw. Who's Steven? Some people polish them, some people play them. What's up, cat? Oh no, you're done. Oh yeah. I figured this would happen. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Look at all this floof. She's so happy about the situation. She will regret being in here. I'm in the house alone for the week. My wife is at the Kappa Kappa Psi. What's up? My wife is at the Kappa Kappa Psi National Convention in Orlando, and so they have to deal with me, and so they'll probably make an appearance. Tummy. Is this how you're supposed to hold a cat? She's purring. She's not too upset about it. What's up? Do not. It is, guys. My desk is a mess. You do not want to see what I have to do for stream. I've now given up. So what I did last stream is I had a foot pedal that would kill. I polish horns if I'm going to sell them. Otherwise, it's tarnished. I would polish my euphoniums. I think tubas, when they're dirty, it's kind of understandable. I think euphoniums just look nasty if they're dirty. But, the Wilson 2900 is a tenor tuba anyway, so it probably looks just fine. But yeah, the tuba is dirty. Well, the desk. So what I did last stream is I had a Focusrite that I have 2 inputs on, and I had a horn input and my mic input both into the Focusrite, and then I had a kill switch that I would put my foot on while playing so the voice mic wouldn't pick it up. I had bought an Elgato Wave XLR for streaming a long time ago, back when I used to stream games. And this, I totally forgot that it's one channel. You can only put one thing into it, but it has a kill switch on it, so I can just... And now you can't hear... What you're hearing me through, if you hear me at all, is through the horn mic. Right, so that's what that's through. So I can just tap that. And I don't have to do anything with my foot, because I kept forgetting last stream to push my foot down. So now we're going to try to tap it when we get started with the warm-up. All right, warm-up's going to start soon. If you haven't already, make sure that you head over. I'm going to link it in the chat for us if you want to follow along with the warm-up. We're going to do some things off. Am I trying to start Wilson beef? I would never try to start Wilson beef. All I'm gonna say is thank goodness they got bought. So now they can finally pay their artists, because they weren't for a very long time, because they were a very small operation, and now they have a little bit more backing. And I'm sure Gail and Brian love their instruments. And it's pretty fitting, too, because it seemed like everybody who was leaving Wilson as artists were going to Eastman Shires. And now Eastman Shires owns Wilson. So it's like the world's healing. What's up? But I try very hard to not talk smack about instrument companies, because everybody thinks that I'm getting paid the big bucks from Besson to say nice things about them in these videos. He's negging them. I have no interest. I understand why people like the Wilson. I have very little interest in moving to the Wilson. Would you? All right, cat. And yeah, sorry if I cough. Again, I'm coming off a cold. I still got one a little bit. All right. So we're going to start. Listen. Doug knows all the drama. He just doesn't. Doug is like that person that I feel like at all the conferences and everything, everybody confides in him because, like, he doesn't talk smack. And then, but everybody talks their smack to him. He's not big enough artist to get the buffet bucks. One of the many reasons I drove the ship. Hey, they paid me to go to IET, at least. Buffet paid me when Adam asked for them for money. I will say, Dennis Wick. I will say Dennis Wick has been a phenomenal company to be an artist with. They've been the best so far. And then for anybody who wants to say, like, I get a really hard time for, like, supporting Le Freak. They've never given me nothing. I haven't gotten paid for anything from them. They supported my first album. They are branded on my first album. All right, cat. Oh, I don't know why chat isn't on the just chatting. We're going to change that real quick. I hear Eastman is extremely supportive to their artists. Well, and I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason difference. Like, I think the companies get artists for different reasons. And a lot of times it seems like with Buffet, they get artists to have artists that other companies just don't want. Or I shouldn't say it that way. They get artists to keep artists from other companies, if that makes sense. Ad source, chat, and then we're just going to put you all like right here. I don't know why the chat is so far behind on the screen. But there it is. Yeah, why is the chat so far behind? Okay, cat. All right, I'm going to kick the cat out. We're going to start with this warm-up. If you haven't grabbed it already. What shank is the cat? Chunky. She's Chunky Shank. All right, hold on. I'm gonna kick the cat out just because I am gonna repurpose this video to be the video for next week. So I'm gonna kick the cat out. And then what sucks is, like, she's actually being very attentive when I can't hang out with her, and which is great. But when I actually have time to hang out with her later today, she's gonna dip, which is gonna suck. All right, let me kick the cat out. And we'll get started with our warm-up. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Leave. Flee. Get. To worry about us low brass players. They do, but the cool thing is a lot of, especially in America, a lot of the guys who are like working for Buffet, are also, you know what I don't want? This. Turn that off. All right. A lot of them are actually brass players, like Warren and stuff like that. That's the best part, is the people who are actually in it. When you can get a hold of them, they're good people. But also, I've bought a Prestige 3 times. So, obviously I like it. Also, if you haven't already, feel free to join the Discord. Been chatting around in there. It's not band drama, it's instrument drama. And it all doesn't really matter at the end of things. All right. Let's turn off. Okay, so I'm going to grab a couple. No, let's do this. Let's get rid of the lo-fi, though, as fun as the Animal Crossing stuff has been. And let's make chat a little bit smaller. Cool. We're going to put you all over there. Okay, so we're going to get started with our warm-up here. And then all of a sudden, chat catches up. Oh, dang. All right, I'm going to stop coughing. I'm going to take some water, and we're going to get started. So, I did this presentation for IET while I was there, and I decided to repurpose it and do it with everybody else. So we're just going to go through a warm-up together. We're going to try our best virtually to kind of do this masterclass. The whole reason that I came up with this, and I was kind of thinking of what can I do at IET that's going to be different than what everybody else is going to be doing. Everybody's going to be doing Remingtons. Everybody's going to be doing, lip slurs and all that sort of thing. And then I was listening to warm-ups on the Sunday and the Monday, and I kind of was thinking about warm-ups that I've heard whenever I've gone to regional conferences and stuff like that. And the pacing is so weird to me. And then I hear a lot of people complain about not having chops throughout the day. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I feel like there's a little bit of a combo there. Because, like, if the first thing you do every single day is, like, you do, like, a Remington, and then the next thing you do is some lip slurs, and then you go straight into playing, well, then you're probably hurting your face in some way, shape, or form. Or you're just not pacing yourself outright. Or, that might work for you, but it's not going to help with the longevity of the day. So we're going to talk about some pacing stuff while doing a full-blown warm-up. This should take us about an hour or so because I'm going to explain everything. I am one of those people that I need 30 to 45 minutes to really get ready to play. I'm just one of those people. If you're not one of those people, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm glad that the Lord has blessed you with those chops. I have tried otherwise, but so the first thing I actually want to do is I want to get my body physically ready to go. So we're going to do a couple stretches here. Nothing crazy. I am going to take off my headset. So the first thing I want to do is I like taking my hand out and just putting it out like this. And all you do is grab it, grab your fingers, and just pull back a little bit, nice and easy. Give it a good little stretch. And then the other way. Right, and just kind of feeling that little bit of a tug, and one more time up top. And then switch hands. And just allowing that to start to open up a little. We think about our face so much that we forget about the other thing that's controlling the instrument. All right, and then to allow ourselves to, as David Vining says, to be a bobblehead, we're going to do a little bit of, we have to do a little bit of a stretch one way or the other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to let my head soften down to my chest, take my hand, put it on the top of the crown of my head, and just let that weight pull down. and get a little bit of a stretch right here. Then roll over here to my right. And then just same thing, just letting and I'm not pulling, I'm just letting the weight of my arm kind of bring my head down. Roll again over here now, and the same thing. Good. All right, so nice and comfy. Now, the next thing I want to do is start to get the lungs warmed up, get those ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to do, is just a little bit of check-in breathing stuff. So I'm just going to, for 4 counts in and out, we're just going to breathe in for 4 and out for 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the old-fashioned breathing in with the hand in front of my face and making sure I'm getting that nice, deep, dark inhale, that as opposed to something more sippy, right? We don't want any of that. We want as we go along. And we're just going to do for 4 and 4. When we breathe in, as we blow out, we want to push our hand away as much as we can. Here we go. And so just checking in. So we're going to breathe in for 4 and then out for 8 is how we're going to start this. Ready, in, and... And the idea is that our exhale should push all the way as we start to go. We should feel consistent air as we blow our hand away, right? We'll try again. In for 4, out for 8, and ready, and... Good. And so a lot of people will abandon breathing at, like, they'll start their warm up with a bunch of breathing exercises or routines or stuff, and then they'll go and start playing. We are going to start playing next, but I'm not abandoning breathing. We're going to come back and do breathing exercises throughout the entire time that we're doing our warm up. Cool. Let me catch up to chat now. What do you suggest for amateurs? Also, I'm trying to get into our names here. Can I see chat on here? YouTube? No. Dang it. Wish I could make chat. Oh, wait, I can make chat bigger this way. IMAV says, what do you suggest for amateurs that can/don't practice every day, more like 3 to 4 days per week as an effective practice routine? So as we go through this, I'm going to talk about how to also, not everything needs to be like, this doesn't need to be a full-blown hour, but this would be you can adapt some of these things for a 15-minute, 20-minute situation. But I would make sure that you're not abandoning working on your fundamentals. That would be my primary thing. And the cool thing about the warm-up routine is that it's just as much of a reminder of all the good things that we're supposed to be doing, as well as working on other things. This takes me back to a lesson with Kevin Stees. Well, I get it honestly. And there's reasons he's the man. There's reasons those bands sound so good. All right, so jumping into it now. If you have the handout with you, great. If not, we're gonna have it here. I'm gonna make sure I center it in the screen so everybody can see it as best as possible. So give me a second. Because if I just go large in there. Let's go back just a little bit. All right, cool. That looks good, looks centered and everything. And you can see it in there. So, talking about ingredients of a good warm-up, I have listed here high priority and low priority. I'm not trying to say these things are not or are more helpful than one or the other. I'm not trying to say that. What I am saying is on days where I have a lot of time, I'm going to, or where I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to make sure that all of this is hit. And also, these are going to be the basis for a lot of my warm-ups. And if with the low priority stuff, if I have more time, I'm going to go after these things, right? And make sure that I take care of all of these things as well. So I'm not trying to say like high register is something you don't need to work on a daily basis. I'm just saying if push comes to shove, I know what I definitely need to make sure I hit every single day. And then some things that I can kind of let fall by the wayside from time to time. Not trying to say one's, more important. The other thing too is like inside of my long tones, I can put stuff inside of it, as you're going to see later, to make it work out. Like David Vining has stuff where he has long tones that have articulations in them. So you can double dip and also decrease the amount of time that you're working on something, and we can get more out of certain exercises. So let's start out just with we're going to go into a double dipper here. This is a breathing exercise and a long tone smushed together. So we're doing both at one time. So imagine a world where you have to do things, somewhat quickly. You don't have to go straight into just doing like a Remington. You can find something like this that's going to both work on your long tones and your sustain, but also work on your breathing. So this is from David Vining's breathing book. He uses a percussion clef, I think, to create this. So what he's got here is anything that looks like a triangle is an inhale. Anything that looks like a box is an exhale or a blow. So in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out for a whole note. See how it looks like a whole note? You're going to blow out for a whole note and then inhale for a whole note, right? So whenever you see clefs like this, all he's doing is telling us how to do it. The part that everybody forgets whenever I play with them is the playing portion of this. So make sure you're ready for this. If you have the handout handy, I would definitely make sure you have it. I'm going to try my best to scroll as we move along. Also, for those of you who are keeping up with chat, I'm going to try to do an exercise and then catch up with chat. So if I'm in the middle of it and you ask a question, I just don't answer right away, I'm going to get to it. I'm just looking for breaks. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them. We're going to do 100. You may or may not hear the metronome while I'm playing. It will definitely be on now, but it'll cut out when I cut the voice out. Like you can probably hear it now, but when I do this, it may or may not go away for you. You might be able to hear it through the horn thing. It might be loud enough. So we're going to be at 100 together. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to get rid of any extra air. 1, 2, 3. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Good. Now, if you're lightheaded or anything like that, take a second, collaborate. I always get super dry mouth from huffing and puffing like that, so I'm going to take me some water. Just realized we're on page 1 and I already have a misprint or a typo. So this is double dipping a little bit. So we're using this to do both breathing as well as our long tones, right? So we're taking down a little bit of time. Now, is this a super extensive, I'm getting the same amount out of this as I am out of like a Remington? No, it's not doing quite for you what that would. But it is something, if just doing breathing exercises is going to take a little bit of time, you can integrate these techniques. There's also nothing saying that you can't do something like breathe in for 4 or breathe in and out like we have here, and then start your Remington exercise instead, right? Right, and then do that in between, right? We can mix and match some of these things. A lot of times we buy these resource books and we feel like we take what they write as literally what we need to do with them. And sometimes the concepts from the book can be used with other exercises that we like. How many of us have some resources like this that we really like the first 3 or 4 pages, but we don't use like the back end of the book? I think that's why so many like we have slurs like the Singletary and the Remington and stuff like that, but like they wrote entire books. They have entire things, but we use some of their stuff, almost entirely by itself. Cool. So that's how we're starting out here. Now we're getting into another double dipper. 2 things out of this exercise. We're getting both our long tones, nothing wild and crazy here, while also working on dynamic extremes. And actually, I noticed that I was peaking earlier, so I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. So what our big thing that we're trying to get out of this exercise is making sure that we can turn on our piano and our forte at, right away is what we're trying to do. So if you're playing along at home, do not breathe right here. That's what you don't want to do. So inside between the forte and the piano, you can try your best to breathe anywhere in between. He gives you adamant breathing opportunities with these half rests, but if you're having a hard time, the big thing is not breathing between new dynamics. That's what you don't want to do here. Cool. All right, 80 all together. And 1, 2, ready. Yeah, and sometimes you play wrong rhythms. But yeah, that's the right idea there. That's kind of what we're going for in that. Man. And we can do some other things too with this exercise. Like inside of this packet, I don't have any buzzing. You can do things like just try to buzz the exercise. And not, you don't necessarily need to do the dynamics with that, though that's great. You can do air patterns of it, right? We can get a little bit more out of it. But all right, now we're moving into our flexibility from the Edward slurs. I like these because it's I like these because they are what I call compound. I don't know what the actual word for it is, but how many times do we see inside of a routine? You'll be going, you'll do like the first thing, da dee da, and then the next thing is second valve, but the exact same exercise. Here we're doing 2 slurs essentially in one. I like that. I like them better when they go up and then also go down, but this one's great too. And this one also, I would suggest buzzing. We're not going to, we might. But let's get that 72 going. And a reminder for those of you following away at home, if you have questions or you need me to slow down and explain something, I am checking chat in between routine things. So if you have questions or anything, feel free to ask. But here we go. So 72, getting our first slurs in for the day. And 1, 2, ready. Good. And I forgot to mention before we did that, just for spacing, I did not include all of the valves in there. I probably could write a little thing that just says include. And also, if you have a compensating system, you can go further if you would like to. But yeah, so we just continue with all the valves here. Let's go ahead, and I actually do want to buzz a little bit of this. Let me get my camera to follow me here, which it should now. It should start following me. Which is the coolest freaking thing. So, let me grab my lazy mouthpiece. Camera. Sometimes it gives up. There we go. All right. I'm going to do the bass note. Whatever the basis for it is. So when we have the B flat, I'm not going to play every single one. But yeah, let's get some buzzing in. We're going to get a little bit more out of this exercise by buzzing it as well. And here we go. 1, 2, right. Good. Awesome. So, one of the things we want to make sure about as we start to do our lip slurs, and I'm going to bring in the camera a little bit, and I'm also going to change this really quick. Here. Let me bring in my camera really quick. We're gonna get unnecessarily close to my face. Oh yeah. This is the shot everybody wanted. Okay, so we're gonna leave this here though. Let's just bring this down just a little bit. All right, so I wanted to show here because I see a lot of times when people are buzzing, especially as they go lower, what they do, especially on euphonium, is they create what I call a duck face buzz. And let me take the burp out. But when we get down there, we get a really, really buzzy buzz, which sounds really good in the mouthpiece, right? It's a lot of sound. But if I were to do that here into the visualizer, I have this duck, what I call a duck face buzz, right? I don't play euphonium down there like that. And if I play into the euphonium, if I play that E natural with that face, I get a didgeridoo sound, right? And of course, that's not what I want. I don't want to sound like didgeridoo while I'm playing. I want to keep that nice openness. When I go down there. So the buzz is actually going to become less good sounding as I go lower. I mean, if you hear really good tuba players buzz, it's almost like all air. There's almost no sound to it whatsoever. And so what we want, right? You're getting so much air. So I think about trying my best, and we can back up a little bit. I would think about not necessarily feeling like I got to smush my chin in to create the new good sound, but I'm actually softening chin down to the chest. To make that happen, right? And bringing that open and allowing the long elongation, kind of like we're a nutcracker, to make that happen. Cool. So be careful about that as we start doing some of these lower notes. All right, let's get the camera back into its normal position. And we'll actually lower it just a little bit. Hopefully all that rambling makes sense. I just hear a lot of bad slurring. All right, back into the routine now. All right, so now we're gonna do what I call high impact. And by high impact, I mean it's hitting your face hard, right? We're really going for it here. And so we've got what I call, this is also kind of a compound in terms of it's two things in one of they're narrow slurs, but it does reach. And we've also got the speed going on here as well. You're gonna want to find your Goldilocks zone, whatever speed you can go at that pushes you, but is still accomplishable. But for right now, I'm going to go on my slower end, just so for you at home can get the idea of this exercise, especially if you're sight reading this. You can get the idea of this exercise, but also just so we're not leaving anybody out, have more people at home kind of hanging out here. This is from the Van Tynen Swoboda Euphonium Slurs book. If you have the Tuba Slurs book, it's in there as well. I don't know. It's page 14 in the tuba book. Let's go. What do y'all think? Like 60? Yeah. And whenever I do slurs like this with my students, never let pay the first part of these slurs be what makes you think about your speed. Always let it be the fast part. So you're not thinking da 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 dee. You're not thinking that. You're thinking da 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 dee da da da. How fast you can play those is where you want to sit. This is just a warm up for the hell that's coming up. Here we go. Some flexibility. So we're at 60. 1, 2, ready. good. And you can keep going down the compensating system if you wanted to. We're just going to stop on 2 and 4 for now. All right. All right. So now we're going to get into articulation. I call this multiple use because you can use it for single or double tonguing. For today, and hold on, I got to sneeze. Excuse me. So for today, we're going to use it as a double tonguing exercise. Oh, wait. They always come in twos. We're going to use it as a double tonguing exercise, but a slow double tonguing exercise. I would also suggest doing this if you have a breathing bag. I would also suggest doing this into a breathing bag. I've got mine over here. Hold on. Stay. Maybe I don't. Where's my bag of breathing? What did I do with it? Oh, it might be in here. It is. Okay, so if you have a breathing bag, I would suggest also doing this exercise into it, either single or double tongue, whatever you're doing, right? But remember, I said we're not going to abandon doing the breathing fundamental throughout our entire warm-up. Why is that turning orange? My camera's freaking out. You're going to see two of me for a second. Failed to enter whiteboard mode. That's fine. I'm broke. So we're not abandoning the breathing. So I'm going to do my single tongue version of this exercise, and I'm probably not going to do the entire thing. We're just going to do, stop that. We're just going to do a little bit just to kind of reinforce the way the air should be moving through there. As a double tonguing exercise, we're going to do this at 110. But we're going to start with single tongue through here. If you don't have a breathing bag, you can just use your hand. And when you do that, just blow into your hand for me. And then blow the exercise. And what should happen is the air that your hand is feeling, whether you're just blowing into it or you're doing an articulation exercise, shouldn't feel any different. So if you're feeling stagnation on your hand, that means you're not blowing through the articulation. But here we go. If you have a breathing bag, join along. If not, use your hand. And 1, 2. Right? And that was about half the exercise. And that was single tongue. So now I'm going to do this multiple tongue. So I'm going to double tongue this as my exercise. A little bit slower than I would do, but for everybody keeping up at home, it will help out with that. Here we go. And double tongue or single tongue if you need to do that. And 1, 2, ready. Really does feel like there should be a whole note at the end of that, doesn't it? All right. So now we're kind of getting to the end here. Your face should somewhat be ready to go. So now we're going to start breaking it, and we're going to do some high stuff. But it's also working as a flow and dynamic exercise, so it's not working only by itself. So try your best to really do everything that's written here. So we've got all the slurs and everything, but also the dynamics that are written here. It is written in 3/4, but it says dotted half is 54. I'm going to go ahead and put this one with the triplets on, so you'll have the eighth notes. So for those of you following along, Dee, da, da, da. Right, that's about the pace that we're going here. And then when we get to the fermatas, I'm going to do a clean cut off, and then I'll try my best to recount us as we go through. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 1. Good, now let's just roll this on down and do the next chunk of the exercise. Oh, I wish this was a little bit shorter. All right, here we go. 2, ready. And what I like about this is, it's not your normal, like, just beautiful exercise that's going to go up and up and up and up and up until you break. And you should do those things too. But this one has a little bit of repair inside of it as well. So just interesting. All right. Now we're going to kind of repair a little bit. We're doing some flow, but we're also doing some low studies as well. But also just resetting our face from the trauma that we just had to put it through. Let's do... What's this gonna feel like? No, let's go a little bit faster than that. What do you think, 80? Oh, why is it on like clavichord? Yeah, let's do this. That 80 is a good pace. I like this. And 1, 2, 1. Woo! Good. All right, and that's everything in there, right? Now, let's go back really quick and talk about that priority list that we started out with, right? And I tried my best when making this thing. Obviously, this is not necessarily the best examples of all these sorts of things, but I tried to grab a little bit of everything to where you can also get multiple uses out of it. Now, this isn't the only thing you need to be using. These are just examples. Right. So this does not need to be the breathing exercise you do or like the long tone that you do necessarily. These are just examples of the type of things that I would be looking for to start out with as you, and you can start with this packet. You can use this packet to kind of build what you need to work on and all that sort of a thing. But nothing starts out really, the start out is not too hard. We're focused on our fundamental of starting our notes with good sound, but also with the fundamental of breathing. And then as we move through, we're starting some more long tones that are also working on our dynamic extremes. So we're starting off our day also thinking about creating the art and tools in which to help us create art. As we move through, we're going to have a low impact slur to get the flexibility started, get our face moving a little bit. We can maybe buzz this as well, like we did today. Then we're going to move into a more high impact slur. Now, this, I'm not saying you just need to do one slur. You could do multiple. You can change them up. You can also work on wide flexibilities. Right. And then we're going to go into an articulation, but also I'm doing it in a lower register to make sure that, I'm kind of repairing a little bit of the damage I've done. Right. Then we have a high register thing, and we all have our own favorite things of those. And then we move into both a flow study, but also a low note thing to repair the damage we've done to our face. And we're leaving our face the way we want to find it when we pick it up again. So that's kind of my thought process behind all of those. And what I mean by pacing is taking the time and not doing too much of one thing at one time and expanding it throughout, but also being cognizant of what our face has to deal with on a daily basis. So we're working on all the tools that we need, but we're also not, we're not getting rid of all of our, we're not necessarily just getting rid of all of our endurance all in one shot with the warm up. So yeah, a little, but and that I was explaining some things for a very long time. So, it probably wouldn't take you actually 45 minutes to do some of this stuff. Probably take you a little bit less time, but yeah, hopefully that was informative and it helps you guys at home get some more out of your warm up and everything. And thanks for joining me for my warm up today. Oh, my camera's moving again. Oof. I'm definitely still coming off this cold though, man. Ugh. All right, so are there any questions about anything we did? Let me know. We're back into the just chatting portion of things. We'll probably hang out for another 15, 20 minutes and then we'll call it a day. The warm-up actually took less time than I thought it would. I didn't get through the entire thing when we did it for IET. And I know this was a weird time of day too, but I've got to go and beat Final Fantasy 16, dagnabbit. I'm on the last little bit. I know I'm on the end game. So I've got to go and do that. Oh, while we're here, we can get some things done. Wonder how many people have been accessing the website. I'm driving some more traffic to it. And somebody bought the album earlier this week, which is awesome. Yeah, what's today? The 11th? Oh, we don't know how many is visited yet today. 9 visits yesterday. Dang. A lot of people are visiting the website by mobile, too. That's interesting. It's definitely been a fun ride, that's for sure. But yeah, if there are no lingering questions about anything, we might just call it for the day. And we'll be doing so. So if you're at the Kappa Kappa Psi National Convention, I will be there Thursday evening I'll be there Thursday evening and Friday the whole day. If you're doing the banquet, I'll be there for that. And then I think we're going to putz around in like Universal on Saturday and then come home. And then I've got a band camp that I'm teaching at Ola High School next week. So I'll be doing that. And so I'll be back to making content regularly sometime in 2 weeks from now. We'll be done with traveling for a little bit at least. So tomorrow, new video. So if you don't have your notifications on, make sure you do. Oh, we can turn the lo-fi on too, by the way. So if you don't have notifications on, make sure you do. So you see that pop up. It's a vlog / who should go to IET video. I don't ever just do it. I like the vlogs though, but I never just vlog. I don't think my life is interesting enough to just do that. So there's always some educational to it. And on this one, it's who should go. What kind of person should be going to IET. So yeah, if that interests you at all. And then I'm trying to think. Yeah. Also, big announcement coming up. A new album is going to be releasing. I'm trying to release a new album. It's probably going to be holiday-ish. We have we have 3 more tracks, 1 more piece. It's a concerto, so it's got multiple movements. But I've got to get the Tampa Brass Band back together to record it. But that'll officially get announced here soon. Waiting for a couple more backer things, and we'll do a GoFundMe pre-order type situation for that. But yeah. So tomorrow, new video. Watch out for that. And then next week, if you weren't here for the entirety of the warm-up, I will have that. And so what I'm going to do is, obviously this thing's going to live. You can always go back and watch these videos or these live streams. But if I'm going to have me talking about the pacing portion of this, I'm going to cut that up and turn it into a video next week. So if you missed out on that and you just kind of want to get the pedagogy behind what I'm talking about, that'll be there for you. Yeah. But otherwise, I think that's it. But if there's no questions about anything, or if anybody doesn't have anything to chat about, we might end stream just a little early. Next live stream will probably be a little ways from now, probably a couple weeks from now. I'll be gone all next week, so I'm thinking maybe next Monday. And I'm gonna try to get to streaming twice a week. If I can stream twice a week, I think that'll be really helpful. And what I'll do is like one big community stream and then another, like a community like masterclass, like what this was today, and then one of just like me practicing out with everybody. Ooh, we got new people in the Discord. Also, if you have not joined the Discord yet, please feel free to do so. I think next stream I'll add a question of the day as well. But yeah, all right, cool. So if there are no lingering questions, I think I'm gonna pack up because it is y'all look at this. Like, oh, you can't see it because my thing's there. Can I push the monitor back a little bit? All right, let's look at how bad the desk is. Like there's all right, my PlayStation 5's over here, but like there's just so much cables and gunk and all sorts of stuff. I am not happy with that situation. I like everything kind of being in its place. Oh, Beer Killies, welcome to the Discord chat. Also, I do need chat monitors eventually. So that's going to be another thing we need to do. Yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord really quick, I'll put an invite in chat. Oh no. Here you go. Otherwise, yeah, I think we're going to head out. I've got to beat Final Fantasy 16 tonight. I think what I'm going to do is I've got to get gas. So I think I'm going to go get gas. And I'm going to purchase like a Mountain Dew or something like that. And I mean like a liter. And I am not going to go to sleep until I beat 16. So if you want to hear about that progress. Because I know I can't leave and teach this band camp and still have this game on my brain. And I know I'm at the end. I know I'm in the, like, if I just did story, I know I would be in the last like 4 hours of the, like maybe, like, and most of that's gonna be cutscenes. But the problem is I want to platinum it, so I'm doing all of the side quests and everything. So, all right, y'all. Well, you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me for my warm-up. Look out for tomorrow's video. And if you weren't able to join us for the warm-up today, I will be clipping it up a little bit and putting it into be a video for next week. So otherwise, you'll have a great one, and we'll chat with you on Discord. Have a good one.